I love balls. Remember Bakugan? During the time that we had children fighting with demonic creatures, children throwing their tops at each other, Spinmaster said, what if we made kids throw their balls at each other instead?
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
The anime came out in 2007 and it absolutely exploded in popularity. Kids started to roll their marbles like it was the 1950s again, and toy companies were proven once again that attaching magnets to something will make kids lose their mind. These toys were the absolute perfect storm of engineering. They rolled like marbles, they popped like Transformers, and when that little orb snapped open, man, pure serotonin. This all started because of a plot that no one truly understood, but as a kid, it just made sense. And add on the rock and roll music and the cool factor goes up to 11. It becomes so popular to collect. Now the anime started out relevant to the toy line. Roll your balls onto the gate cards, use any ability cards to increase your G power, and the bigger number wins. Easy as that. I hate doing math while playing with my balls, but I guess it was worth it. Lore was slowly added as you do for kids to understand marble politics. A dimension called Vestroia was shown off, and it was up to a couple kids, the Brawlers, to fix everything, and eventually leading off to the slow burn of the series with its highs and lows. Don't forget Draga's 10th evolution every season. You have the creation of new Vestroia, the introduction of new Bakugan, new mechanics, and the creation of the best boy of the series, my man, Spectra. He's an absolute unit of a character who's able to carry the stats of his own anime. Too bad it never came to be. The peak of the anime was just the pure, sensual energy from him and Dan. The dialogues, the duels, the freaking sword fight. This is the closest thing we'll get to a fist fight in a children's toy line anime. And I love it. Wait, how old are they? This is where the additional concepts for the actual game started to die down, where each season only introduces its new thing for kids to crave and buy. Here we have Bakugan traps, basically another form of an ability card that adds a boost to your number on your Bakugan. The main product placement you see are these combination Bakugan, which look like bangers in the show. But when you put them together in real life, like, it can break with a small flick. How did you design this for kids to use? It is gonna break. It's broken on me multiple times. This is all pretty simple, but things start to get a little more complicated once product placement becomes an even bigger incentive. The new season tries to create a new edge to the series with a more cohesive story and trying to make it a little more complicated for an aging audience. Though it's only been 3 years at this point. You have the beginning of an interstellar war, not the worst start of a good series. You have the Brawlers in virtual space, battling out with other people, joining in the war efforts with the Princess Fabia, and use these Bakugan and battle gear to fight the other Bakugan on the opposing side. You have a little lion here, a backstab there, a brainwashed children army. I think you can see where this is going. At this point in time, the game took a backseat and it became all about the character development. I mean, this was good. More than I would ever expect in my toy line anime. But I want to know how to play the game. Not have a showcase of all these products. Battle gear, deluxe battle gear, mobile assault vehicles, and you're still able to use the trap Bakugan. This list is only being added on to. Ignoring all these sus products, they try to create the same rivalry as my boy Spectra, only it loses out on all the impact that it actually had in the series. You can't just copy my boy like that. You can't copy Spectra. There's only one of him. There's less banter, less interaction with the main villain, and all this was just some sort of destiny where they were born to be the opposites of the same coin due to having Bakugan whose ancestors were destined enemies. I mean, is there anything less impactful than this? Bakugan just started to die off from here, where it just stopped being about the game and all about the figures and the toys and the insert new thing here. All of this was engaging, just unnecessary. The last season, the anime just became an overcomplicated mess that lost all of its impact with a large focus on Mechagons. And the worst part, it's split in two. You have an anime that was just Dan, Drago, the Mechagons, and then you have the rest of the cast. And if you want to know who the villain is of this season. It's just a villain of the previous season. Sorry if I spoiled this 15-year-old show for you. Man, I feel old. They even tried to bring back my boy Spectra in a great new look, but even this couldn't save the disaster of a nonsense series. Not that this is a good look for Helios. I mean, what is with Bakugan and giving these dragon humanoid forms? I mean, really. And part 2 is the most forgettable thing I can think of. Just a slow, forgetful end with all these product placement. At least don't make it this obvious. Kids start to move on from all this. The game became more complicated than IKEA furniture, and the great statue of Bakugan started to crumble and couldn't be saved. Your once glorious Bakugan collection became a drawer full of sadness. We didn't even notice it disappear. One day, it was the king of toys. The next, it was that weird thing you stepped on while looking for your Ninjago figurines. But wait, it isn't over just yet. Just like other toy lines, Bakugan has a reboot. In 2018, Bakugan returned as Bakugan Battle Planet, a reboot that tries to capture the original flair while making the game more interesting to older players. I had to get this out of the way now. I absolutely love these toys. They look amazing. They look so cool. I haven't seen anything so detailed before. I just love these. You can tell how much thought they put into these to make these so cool. I think it was amazing. It allows for so much variation. I could just look at these all day. Sorry, I was a little unprofessional there. The inner child came out. Now, this game was very well developed. Pure confusion for any child, but it gave the feels to any older fan. The anime had a lot to carry on its plate, but became something that no one asked for. Like, does this look like the next big thing? The Bakugans look horrible. I know it was there to blend better with the CGI of the anime, and that doesn't mean you use CGI in the first place. Do I have to pull out the Berserk card? With the looks of the anime, it doesn't even look like that's trying to attract the older audience that you're selling the card game to. Now, I get it. You don't have to make the anime for the older audience, but could you at least make it remotely similar to the actual card game? This does not make any sense. Less sense than normal. It looks like all the development was to market and design the game to be fun instead of making the anime more interesting. Most of the cast is missing actual brain cells, mostly this kid right here, and they had the audacity to make budget masquerade for literal children with a design that looks like a 6-year-old tried to turn up the edge factor and thought this looked cool. At least it had its own identity, more than you can say about many other animes. And with the lack of any brain cells, there aren't even any strategy in the anime. Just run around a field, and when they do think of any minor strategy, it's all about losing till the game gives you a trump card to win. This is where any hope for the series dies. But wait, there's more. Who would have guessed it? You thought it ended there? Spin Master isn't gonna let a $1 million product die like that. We're gonna go at this again, and we're gonna go at it with a brand new spin. Get it? Because I spin. I thought it was funny. This anime came out in 2023, and I have not seen a single aspect of it, and most likely never will. So I watched the first episode, and I have thoughts. Who the heck says daddy like that? Why is this like this? Why is this here? Why is it said like that? And the voice just makes it sound like it's a creeper waiting for you.
You can count on me, Daddy.
I mean, really? You can count on me, Daddy.
You can count on me, Daddy.
This CGI is not that good of an improvement over the previous. I don't know what they were thinking about for this. It looks like the worst piece of garbage I've seen. It's still better than Berserk. The art style is more generic than I've seen. At least the previous one had its own style. This looks like any generic anime that I've seen growing up. This looks like you can just replace it and you won't even notice that it's from Bakugan. Why do they make Dragon like this? Why do they make Dragon like this? All he is a dumb jock and doesn't even fit with the story. It doesn't fit with the main story about Bakugan. It just feels like they're listening to just a big, muscly, strong guy who knows nothing about what's going on. They create a new transformation for people to use, and immediately after, everyone already uses it. And apparently in all their years of fighting, they've never thought about using more than their fists. So in years of combat, only just now, well, when they're with humans, They start to breathe fire. They start to use abilities. They start to actually do more than just punch and kick. I mean, how are these birds gonna fight? How are these aquatic creatures gonna fight? Were they just slapping each other with their fins? Were they just grabbing each other with their claws, making it that anyone who's remotely muscular would win a fight? That does make sense as to why Drago would be the leader, being a musclehead and everything. Oh, that theme song. Honestly, not bad. The theme song is pretty good. It could be worse. It could be like the previous show. It could be like Battle Planet. It's not Battle Planet. It is good. I do find it absolutely hilarious that Bakugan are living just like normal people. And you have Drago here as a fast food employee at a burger place. Bakugan are now just your average fast food employee, your average low salary worker, the bottom of the barrel. And apparently in the story, day 1, Bakugan gets banned. Day 2, we now have an underground illegal Bakugan ring. Doesn't that sound great? Where we have Bakugan creating illegal fights to fight each other. Not that bad, actually. Still, this is not a good show. I don't know what I thought about this. Bakugan just doesn't feel like the same anymore. It's not your Beyblade. It's not your Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's definitely not your Pokemon. They never asked. They always questioned how much we could make from this, but never asked if we should make this. You have Beyblade, who has an amazing series coming out again and again, always being very popular. You have Pokemon, who's at the top of the toy franchise empire. And here's Bakugan, just slowly falling behind until it comes to an end. Now, who's ready to watch the next Bakugan reboot coming out in 2035?